All right, sorry everybody. I don't know how this is gonna work, and I don't know if this is working, but we're gonna try it anyways. Just give me a sec. I was not expecting this to load up or whatever, but I guess we can get comfortable. Once again, Don't Know Podcast, episode 69. We finally made it. 69. It was gonna happen, whether we liked it or not. And just let me make sure I have everything. Sorry about that. It's just, I've never done one of these. This is my second attempt at trying a YouTube live. Um, if you are new to this, if you are new to the podcast and you're like, what? I can't find episode 60. It's because I haven't uploaded or re-uploaded the episode anyways. Um, long story short, YouTube sucks. I'm just kidding. But long story short, I just simply have to re-upload the video so you guys can see it on the main page instead of having to. But I'm gonna make a whole bunch of other playlists too, and we still got things to do. We still have many things to share. I still have many things to share with each and every one of you who care to listen and who are even out there, because I see that you guys do obviously see my stuff. And I'm laughing because over these past 6 months, it's been nothing but torment in the aspect of my socials and in the aspect of just simply what I have going on. And me being the guy I am, I don't like to back down. So here we are. We are on episode 69, and I think as far as 69 episodes in goes, I think I should probably say something about whether or not, or what I want to do with this podcast, or what my intention is. My intention is not to diss anybody. My intention is not to make anybody out there look bad at all. My intention is to simply share what I have going on and enjoy the simple life. I don't even know if I believe myself when I say simple life, because if you guys know me to any extent, and if you guys have been following me to any extent, it's pretty fucking wild when I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here. I really don't, because everything I say seems to get me in trouble now. And I don't know whether that's just like me being me being, I don't know. I really don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to post up here, but I really don't know. I guess that's why I named my podcast I Don't Know. But like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Maybe you guys do, maybe you guys don't, but it comes to a point where you just feel as if, or at least I feel as if, you become a punching bag of sorts in people's lives, whether you accept it or not. And maybe not currently, maybe everything's fine and dandy, but eventually you feel like a sack of potatoes thrown to the side. And maybe not everybody, maybe I'm here in fucking Woohooville. But honestly, sometimes I feel as if I have some kind of, I don't know, as if I'm a puppet, if that's better put. And a puppet in the sense that I carry this shell of what people see me and how people perceive me as. And maybe you guys don't feel the same way. Maybe I'm just fucking crazy schizophrenic. I don't know. But I feel as if this puppet that I am is having fun, right? He's having fun being puppeteered by some greater force. The only part that sucks about quote unquote being a puppet is that when the strings stop moving, you don't know what to do. And what I mean by that is sometimes people tug on your heartstrings and try to bend you so which way. And like I said, lately I've just been in so many dilemmas and in so many conversations and in so many mouths that maybe at some point I should probably say or apologize. I don't know, apologize for whatever you believe I've done to you, or apologize for whatever you want me to apologize about. That's this episode. And it's not that I have any kind of issue with you. I don't have any kind of issue with anybody. Not really. Not at all. Not once. But sometimes, sometimes I feel as if people kind of misconstrue their idea of me. Maybe I don't want to speak out of context, or I don't want to speak towards something that isn't for me to speak about, but all I can speak is my truth. And if you feel whatsoever which way about me posting my truths, or about me just being me and enjoying being me, and that's kind of the puppet that I'm telling you about, that as a puppet, it feels weird calling me that, but as a puppet, you once had the ability to grab those strings, tug on my heartstrings, and pull on them, and steer me this way, steer me the other way, steer me low, steer me high. And I let myself go, towards your hands. I let you guide me and toss me which way. And this is speaking in general towards people around me, but I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this and you were once a person to tug on my heartstrings, I'm sure you know who I'm speaking about. But no more further will I speak on any of that, because apparently others don't like the fact that I can say whatever I want. That being said, it's about to get fucking crazier now, because literally all I took the simple conversation that I had with this person who got upset at me for, I don't know, for posting whichever thing that I post, and for, I don't know, I guess I'm apologizing for being the way that I am, and unapologetically telling you that I don't care. And I know it sounds bad. That I don't care, but when I was your puppet, who were you? Who were you to tell me, hey man, you're fucking up on this realm and you should try to do this? Or you were just simply the type to walk away and forget everything existed. And so that's what I am. That's what I am to you, and that's what I am, and that's what I should be to everybody on here, is just some kind of internet character who has no feelings, because apparently everybody can come barking at me and I'm supposed to just sit all grumpy. And this is me sitting all grumpy, as you guys can see, because I'm fucking devastated that you guys don't talk to me, you guys don't love me anymore. Oh. And like I said, sometimes with people like that, they used to have some kind of control, some kind of influence over you. But when that's gone, And when those feelings subside of I I don't know how I want to phrase this, but it simply comes down to sometimes in my life anyway, if I'm allowed to speak on it. Sometimes in my life I've felt maybe not dictated, but sort of compelled to act a certain way instead of my authentic self. And this is maybe like a shell, or this is maybe some kind of guard for myself, or that I did create for myself um, subconsciously. And I don't know, as a kid, I don't think I noticed it. I was just waving and fucking bobbing, weaving my teenage life, as we all pretty much are. But somewhere along the line, after becoming a dad and kind of seeing the type of mhm. After becoming a dad, I don't know, the world became either much bigger or much smaller. Smaller in the sense that I know what matters, and that is my son. And I don't know, you read these things about what it takes to be a good parent and what it takes to be a good dad. And I don't know, at least for me, I've picked up a couple articles, a couple books on what it means to not just be a good parent, but like to be a better person and improve. And it's kind of difficult to face somebody who's only known the negative side of you. Because every day, I will say every day, I get told how not shitty I am, or I get reminded of how not shitty I am. And for you to look at me some kind of which way just because I'm doing whichever what I want to do, I don't know. All I'm saying is that at some point I was chosen by you to surround you or surround me. You chose me to surround your life at some point or to be around your life. And suddenly, who knows? Maybe I've changed. I can tell you for one thing, if you go back to episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, 5, 6, these you're not speaking with the same person that's going live currently. You are speaking to maybe the blueprint of what's to be, but I now carry around a journal. Believe it or not, my little query ass carries around a journal. And it's not that I need a friend, or as you guys know, this podcast, before it was called the Don't Know Podcast, it was the Don't Know Diaries. And the reason that I wanted to put out this live in the first place is to just kind of level out the playing field as to what the fuck is going on, because I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Suddenly, like I said, I'm in everybody's mouths. Nobody hops off my dick, and everybody wants a piece. And I'm like, a piece of what? I'm still here, talking the same nonsense that you've been hating. So why not just leave me alone and hate it somewhere over there? I'll be loving it here. It's I personally think it's a little bit, like I said, I don't want to talk shit because that gets me in trouble, especially with the people that I care about the most. So I I want to catch you guys up on so many things. But like I said, I've been carrying around a journal. And in this journal, I just write down random thoughts of throughout the day because at some point I just realized nobody's listening to what I'm trying to say. And everybody's living in their own world, I guess, and you guys see that. But that's what I noticed, that everybody's in their own little bubble staring at their phones, and I'm just like, if you guys look out, there's real people getting affected every day by your simple everyday moves. There's people who come in to work or to anywhere in a bad mood simply because they read something devastating, or their phone's blowing up in a negative way, and it's like, we never had these issues. At least when I was in school, I mean, it was still a little bit more limited. And I look back at just how naive I felt at the time, yet here we are. And I know I bring this up quite often, but it just surprises me that I know of others who have passed away at the age that I am, or at a younger age even, because I've spoke about this for probably 2-3 years now, that I've had buddies, and not relatives, thankfully, but what do you call them? Acquaintances who've passed away. And I'm just like, wow, man, I've had a kid. I've broken people's hearts, unfortunately. I've cried, I've sat alone, I've slim I've done a lot. I've drugged myself. I've gotten drunk. You live. Because, mind you, when I was in high school, thankfully, I was not. Well, I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic, but I've talked about it in previous episodes, how people think I'm an alcoholic and how I get such a bad reputation on how alcohol kills. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it does. Stay away from it, like me. And I don't know. It's kind of just crazy that if you enjoy your life, you're somehow bothering others. And I'm not saying that my life is all full, great, and dandy, because I promise you guys, if you guys hear, that's another thing I wanted to settle, is if everything that's going on in my life kind of always comes back to this in some way or another. Like, maybe I don't talk about today right now, but I'll talk about today in a year or in a month or 2 months, because these episodes have gotten like 2 months apart, and I'm surprised that I've been able to put them out just here and there. But like I said, sometimes the stories that I want to tell haven't developed all the way. And here's the thing, guys, a lot of the times in my day-to-day life, sometimes it's just for the episode, man. Sometimes it's just because I want to talk about it. And I don't know. I will tell you guys a crazy story just so you guys, of something recent that occurred that I probably shouldn't share, but it's on here. And there's probably many things that I shouldn't share, but anyways, not too long ago, a couple friends and I, we went to a rave. And in said rave, we had gotten these we'll call them psilocybin candies, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. We got some psilocybin candies, and it was my idea. It's kind of bad to say, but it was my idea to say, bring out the bottle. Where's the bottle at? So, mind you, we're going to a rave, and this was probably around Halloween. So if you know me, you know what the fuck rave I'm talking about. But somehow, some way, in between the bottle and the candies, they weren't really candies, but if you know what I'm talking about, these candies taste like shit. But in between all that, guys, oh my gosh, my head was absolutely gone. I have no idea what the fuck. All I remember is that The alcohol got me to a point where I just couldn't keep my legs up, and I ended up getting carried away in a stretcher. Big fucking deal of nothing, because it was just, like I said, the bottle and candies, and it was just all flowing right. And like I said, things got out of hand. But I mean, that's just something. Like, if you guys catch me outside, or if you guys see me outside, just know that a million things probably happened to me that night, even though you had, or you just saw me. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that sometimes wilding out is only to tell this story, or more or less kind of share my experience through it all, because in my head, in my crazy head, is we're all headed to the same future, unfortunately, which is we're all gonna die. As tough as it is to say, we're all gonna fucking blow up, and we're all gonna, one day we're just not gonna be here. And whether we leave a legacy or whatever the fuck you want to talk about, those big words, that's up to you, you know, that's up to us. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with my kid, is that he kind of, I wouldn't say kicked into gear, but he's kind of set off something in my brain where it's like, you never asked for this, yet somehow, some way, everybody feels compelled to tell you absolutely everything that you should do as a kid. And so I just kind of want to mitigate that and let my kid enjoy as much life as possible, for the sake of just enjoying. Not because he owes me anything, not because I want to pay myself back in some way, like bullshit, none of that. Just to enjoy life in a way of saying, you know what, life ain't so bad. Because lately, guys, so much has been in my head, and so much blib blap, and he said this, they said that, you should do this, you should do that. So much of that has been occurring. And sometimes my head just spins in circles all day. Sometimes it's tough to sleep. But I'm always wondering, I don't know. I guess during those times I wonder a lot of things. But back to what I was saying about my son, is that I want him to feel as if there's always going to be more life for him, or there's more life out there, because I don't know what it is, whether it's something in my head, or maybe it's just my feelings, or maybe I do have some kind of issue, but I don't know. I've always felt as if, I want to tread lightly, but I've always felt as if the more feelings I show, or the more intimate I'm trying to be in terms of my expression, sometimes just gets pushed aside. Whether that's due to my personality or just me being me, I have no idea. But sometimes it feels as if what I'm trying to express, or back then, what I was trying to express, isn't being heard, or isn't being acknowledged in some kind of way that I would prefer. And that's what I'm trying to say, guys, is that I'm not perfect, obviously. And without getting too out of hand and without getting too out of context, it's just, sometimes people hurt you, dude. Sometimes people don't realize that I don't know. Sometimes I guess people don't realize that you want to talk to them so bad, you have to start writing it down, because you just miss them so much. And yet they've created so many barriers to where you can't even have a decent conversation of how are you. That's the awful part, or that's the unfortunate part. That's I don't know. I don't think I'm alone in saying that I sit alone in my thoughts a lot of the time. Um, we can talk about work, and sometimes I'll just catch myself staring at my coworkers, wondering if I feel as if my life is crumbling. Like, what? I stare at them, and I don't feel sorry. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I just feel so lost with them, I guess, in a way, in the sense that I could share absolutely everything about my life with whoever I'm with, or my coworkers, or whoever. And it's like, to them, like, what is it to them if you feel so shitty of something, or if I feel so shitty of something? It's not an obligation for people to make you feel good. And that's never been an issue. That's not what I'm getting at here. It's just that sometimes we're all human, I think. And sometimes the human part of us, sometimes the human part of us takes over. And at least for me, what I mean by that is I get carried away with some of these people that I am referring to or speaking about. And my OGs will appreciate this. And my OGs, if you know, you know. I will try my best not to say names. Nothing's promised, but I don't I don't want to hide my life, especially because I want to share and put out whatever, as I've said before, and I don't get tired of repeating it, but the I mean, I'm sure it's been in a couple, and I've mentioned it before, but I just want this to be some kind of record, or some kind of acknowledgement, or some kind of document of my experience, of my life, of my laughs, of my cries, of my difficulties, of my friends, of my buddies, of just everything of my life in general. And that's kind of where the name stems from, is that we don't know. We don't know what the fuck is going to happen. We don't know anything, if you think about it. We're not rock spinning in space. And my head can't comprehend that sometimes. Like, if we're in this rock spinning in space and I miss you, one day we'll never see each other again, and I'll never get to miss you again. But right now, I miss you so much. And like I said, sometimes writing it down makes it easier than, I don't know, bawling my eyes. I don't know. Sometimes I believe it's really tough. And if it's tough for somebody like me who's fucking a superhero, like, what is it for the day-to-day man that doesn't have a friend or a buddy to just be like, hey, let's go do something, or have a project, or have some kind of grind? Or I could say, or I could list off so many examples of people that I probably see or interact with frequently. I won't say every day, but frequently, that are just kind of floating in the wind, seeing what happens, seeing where life takes them. And it's like, dude, it's a little bit harsh to want the best for yourself and then see everybody else kind of breaking each other or themselves apart. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say about my coworkers, or when I'm at work, or when I'm at the store. I'm like, so much in my life has occurred, and I'm sure so much of your life has occurred. I just hope that somehow, some way, we are both still laughing the same amount, and we are both still as joyful for life. Because, like I've said, sometimes it's tough. And as a teen, you don't know this stuff. And as a teen, for me, it was very difficult because my mind was everywhere, and I just felt like a complete fucking loser. I felt like a complete fucking failure, even though even though I was just about to get my biggest failure started. I'm just kidding. But yeah, sometimes as a teen, it wasn't easy to look in the mirror, or even get up, or even find a reason to get up. And yeah, I'll say it. I'll say it. Self harm is not what you should look towards, or what you should run to. But I guess at the time, crazy teen as I was, it was just something that, maybe, like I said, I felt like my feelings were never truly expressed, and could never be expressed. It felt like almost as if every time I got close to somebody, whether it was a relationship, new girlfriend, or a friend, or whatever, I felt as if I was surrounded in a bubble, and this bubble could never pop, but I could feel the person on the other side. There was no connection because, mind you, I'm still surrounded in an unpoppable bubble. And I could feel their touch, but it was never felt in, I don't know, it just never hit more than physical, I guess. It just never struck down deep with me because I was never allowed, or I couldn't at the time, or I didn't know how to simply be like, you know what? You are the love of my life, and I'm an idiot. I'm a complete idiot. So please take me with caution because you chose me. And just know I will never try to hurt you, but I'm also the biggest idiot you'll ever know. And sometimes that just needs to be said right off the gate, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And thankfully, back to what we were saying in the beginning of this episode, is that these people get this idea of me, and I want everybody to know that if you don't hear it from me, or if you don't see me and hear it come out of my mouth, or in person, if you want to comment it, the least, if you have a question, anything, just say it to my fucking face, instead of branching off to who the fuck knows the corners of my life where I have no business being anymore, because all it does is bring pain. So please, if you want to see me hurt, go ahead. You're gonna fucking find a dark abyss over there somewhere. But just know I don't mean anything with any harm or malicious intent. I'm just trying to be as happy-go-lucky as I can, and maybe strike gold along the way. You never know. You never know. And I really do enjoy doing these lives. I have been enjoying doing these lives. Um, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify. I mean, I don't go live on Spotify, and this is my second time going live on YouTube, but here we are. We are half an hour in, a little bit over. I'm going live, if you guys can see. Going live, Don't Know Podcast, check it out. YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Sorry about that. It was just a quick video. I'm just letting everybody know on the medias. But back to what we were saying. The discussion at hand is, I'm being spoken about negatively, and it's only up to us to stop it. My Don't Know crew. Only you guys know what it's like to be us, and only you guys know what it's like to enjoy something, I guess, or to try to enjoy something. I don't have much to say further on that subject. In other news, in other news, the Daredevil, we got the Switch 2 news, we got what else we got? Trump Trump is almost taken off his 5 days, I believe. We have a lot going on, and if you guys aren't paying attention, I'm gonna give you guys, before we go, these last couple minutes, I'm gonna give you guys something very powerful to hopefully you guys can keep it, do whatever. But if you notice, the world is changing, obviously, and you have these talks, or you have these kind of questions as to how do people get rich, or how do people fucking do anything of their lives, and all this money's being made online, and all this, and sometimes you just feel like a little rat, right? And so the knowledge I want to leave you guys with is, I know it sounds cliche, and I know you guys don't want to hear it, because personally I'm the type to not want to hear it, and personally I'm the type to hate reading. Personally I'm the type to, it's just kind of annoying to feel like a dummy for a second, put your brain to work. But I've read so much throughout the year, throughout last year, I should say, 2024. I don't have an exact measurement of books, but if I were to put them in total number of books, I tend to read books that are 3 to 4 hours in length. Now, that being said, throughout the year of 2024, I didn't start reading till around August, or not August, like June, July, maybe a little sooner, of last year, 2024. And now leading into 2025, I've probably read close to 50 books just in that span of time, if not more. And personally, I'm not the type to read. I hate reading. I hate all that bullshit. But the thing is, they actually share and have some kind of idea what they're talking about sometimes. And if you want to start dabbling in this, in maybe having smarter conversations, not just with yourself, but with others on money or progress or things like that, there are so many books out there that you can just pick up on YouTube or on, I don't know, you can look them up, honestly, and some of them are mostly free. But if you really want to get a deep dive into how your brain works and how you should be using it, Think and Grow Rich and Think and Grow Rich, that's the first book. Second book, Psycho Cybernetics. That book will teach you everything you need to know about how your brain works, not physically, but on a more spiritual and dynamic level. Because it explains on how, what makes a loser way before the loser thinks he's a loser. Like, what is going on in your brain that you hate, or just things like that. And now Think and Grow Rich will just guide you on the process of money, and what it takes to acquire it, and what other people have done to acquire it, and what it takes to just kind of be as big as you can and think as big as you can, which is called Think and Grow Rich. So those two books will set you on a good trajectory towards learning something new. Now, that being said, there's a huge fuck ton library that I could go through, and maybe this is not the proper episode to do that, just because I've talked shit for 40 minutes. But I will leave you guys with that. Those two books. If you guys want to keep talking about books, just let me know, and we'll keep talking about books. I mean, I'm going to continue to share what I think needs to be shared, and those two books I think need to be heard by everybody, not just by everybody. But that's all I got. Please stay out of my socials. Just kidding. Follow me everywhere. Subscribe to this live. Subscribe to see my face more. But yeah, don't get in between what doesn't pertain or to you. Like, stay to your own and let me do my goofy stuff in peace, because what else is left, you know? Everybody tries to quiet some part of me, and they can't quiet the podcast, motherfuckers. But anyways, that being said, it's been fun. We've done a good solid 40 minutes of me ranting, and unfortunately that's what episode 69 turned into. But now we're on to the 70s. I think we should clap for that. We made it another 10 episodes. We're at episode 70 next, so by that point I should have a haircut. My hair's getting pretty long now, and I don't like it anymore. But by then I should have a haircut, and we'll see what the fuck episode 69 turns into. Maybe it gets me into more trouble. Last thing before I go, there is a concert coming up, which is Trippie Redd. And if you know anything about me, you know that I love my Trippie. And my first concert, playing some kind of things. Sorry, but this is reconnecting. I should probably end this, but we'll see how it goes. On next episode, I'll have a haircut. Don't Know merch, my Don't Know podcast merch, go shop that. That's don'tknowmerch.bigcartel.com. Follow everything: Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, blah 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 blah. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully a little bit a little bit on a nicer note next time. But it wasn't too bad. You guys still love me, and I still love you guys. But bye, everybody.